This is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening. Private information about millions of Americans is in the hands of cyber thieves tonight. They broke into a database at the country's second largest health insurer. It's called Anthem, and it runs Blue Cross Blue Shield plans in more than a dozen states. The company says that the database contains 80 million records, including names, birthdays, and social security numbers, a goldmine for identity thieves and con artists. It is not known if the hackers got health records. Chris Van Cleef begins our coverage.
Anthem was one of thousands of healthcare companies warned twice last year by the FBI that their industry was particularly vulnerable to hackers. In 2014, there were 42 cyber attacks targeting health providers.
Chris Van Cleef reporting. In another hacking casualty today, Amy Pascal announced her resignation as co-chair of Sony Pictures. Perhaps the most powerful woman in Hollywood, Pascal saw her sensitive emails about stars and President Obama dumped into public view. The FBI says the hack came from North Korea, which was angered by a Sony movie about the assassination of its dictator. Tonight, European leaders and Secretary of State John Kerry are in Ukraine to stop a revolution. The White House is considering sending weapons to Ukraine to fight the rebels in the eastern part of the country who are backed by Russia. Elizabeth Palmer discovered what the Ukrainians are up against.
To the Ukrainian army, this road is everything right now. It's their only supply line to the epicenter of heavy fighting, where they're under blistering attack from Russian-backed separatists.
We've learned tonight that the Jordanian Air Force pilot who was executed by being burned alive most likely ejected from his plane after he was shot down accidentally by his own wingman. Charlie D'Agata in Jordan reports the kingdom has launched a wave of retaliation against the Islamic extremists known as ISIS.
Jordan launched its most punishing air assault yet on suspected ISIS targets near the terror group's Syrian stronghold of Raqqa.
Today, the final chapter in the story of Navy SEAL Chris Kyle began to be written in a Texas courtroom. Kyle is portrayed in the blockbuster movie American Sniper. Mark Strassman is covering the trial of the man accused of Kyle's murder.
Sniper Chris Kyle was called the Devil of Ramadi by Iraqi insurgents. Kyle had 160 confirmed kills, the most in U.S. military history.
Mark Strassman reporting. Pope Francis is about to make history. Today, he accepted an invitation to address Congress in September. The Pope also made a confession in a Google Hangout with kids from around the world. He admitted he has no idea how to use a computer. That's no sin. Computers have brought lesser men to their knees. Which brings us to the company that helped start the personal computing era. Radio Shack couldn't keep up with the revolution. It filed for bankruptcy today. It's closing 2,400 stores. In the markets, the Dow is up more than 211. The S&P 21. That puts them in positive territory for the year. A lot of people consider high school and college to be the best years of their lives. So we were surprised that a new survey finds high school seniors aren't having the fun their parents did. Ben Tracy tells us why.
I would say we're a pretty stressed out generation.
Ryan Stybor is 18, a senior in high school in Simi Valley, California. She's in the drama club and taking 6 advanced placement classes. She's applied to 8 colleges.
Ben Tracy reporting. San Francisco is losing a big part of its history. Crews this week began tearing down Candlestick Park, where the Giants' Willie Mays and the 49ers' Joe Montana made so many memories. Demolition will take a few months. Oscar De La Hoya was once boxing's most prolific fighter, with his boyish looks, fan-friendly fighting style, and his ability to sell fights. But now he's been able to sell fights outside the ring with his company Golden Boy. We caught up with him to discuss future bouts and boxing's promotional landscape. Negotiations for what has been deemed the Super Bowl of boxing between superstars Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao has hit a standstill. Talks for the mega bout have been on and off for the last 6 years, with each time proving to be a failure. We caught up with a few trainers and boxers for their insight and predictions on the situation. We'll be right back. For much of his life, Robert Barron used his special skills to make someone look like someone else. Now he's using those same skills to make someone look like himself again. Here's Juliana Goldman.
Wow.
Voila.
That is so cool.
To the naked eye, it's nearly impossible to tell what has this 12-year-old so excited. For the first time in his life, Eric Brenner has looked in the mirror and seen himself with a right ear.
It's just gonna go like that.
Oh, that's really awesome. Yeah, even I can't tell.
That's the ultimate measure of success for Robert Barron, the man who designed Eric's prosthetic.
And that's the CBS Evening News for tonight. I'm Evan Smith. Good night.